And when it comes to being the potential first lady of the free world, Melania Trump just couldn't keep her bear-it-all past away from the public eye. Here are some photos of Melania Trump wishes we'd forget. Medal bikini. If Trump wins the presidency, it is safe to say that Melania will be the first lady to don a medal and fur bikini. While posing for British GQ, Melania had several shots that are sure to have Trump on his toes. This isn't exactly what we think of when we think of the president's wife, but we can all admit that this photo is pretty hot. Lacy underwear. This photo of a lingerie-clad Melania on her knees makes us forget she speaks 5 different languages. Sure, she may be showing off her best assets, but there isn't really anything presidential about this photo, unless you channel some JFK and Marilyn Monroe vibes. Trump's evangelical voters are probably thrilled about seeing their potential first lady in such a lovely spread. Deep V dress. Another beautiful photo from Melania's British GQ photo shoot makes the list. This time she is rocking a very revealing deep V dress, if we can even really call it a dress. Imagine how much hotter Air Force One will be if Trump and Melania take over. Silver cockpit. This futuristic and scantily clad photo was published in 2000 while Melania was dating Trump, and the cockpit in the background is from Trump's private jet. Though they are probably still jetting around the country in their private jet, Melania has managed to keep herself covered while on the campaign trail. As for Donald keeping these photos covered, he hasn't had much luck. Thong and gun. This picture of Melania Trump started popping up everywhere during the Republican primaries. It shows a gun-toting Melania taking aim while sporting a racy thong. Because nothing says America like guns and women in barely their clothing. Full frontal. In the summer of 2016, the New York Post released an article appropriately titled "Melania Trump Like You've Never Seen Her." The article featured a full frontal nude photo of Melania covering her lower bits with her hand. The article was right, we have never seen her like this, and with good reason. This photo is from a 1996 photo shoot in Manhattan with a French photographer. Melania was 25 and went by Melania K, but that didn't stop the New York Post from exposing Mrs. Trump's racy photos. Girl on girl. 48 hours after Melania's nude shoot was released on the New York Post website, the same reporter released images of Melania in some compromising girl-on-girl positions. In this lesbian-themed photo, you can see nude Melania being cuddled by another nude model. This is going to be a hard one to sweep under the rug, Donald. From behind. Just because we haven't seen enough of this potential first lady in the buff, here's a nice pic of her bare derriere. This image is from the same photo shoot as her full frontal, and it made its way into a French men's magazine in 1997. These photos were taken 3 years before Melania met Donald, and we can't help but wonder if they may have had something to do with the pair meeting. Nude on fur. This photo is a hard one to get rid of, as it was the cover shot from British GQ's piece on Melania. A very naked but beautifully made-up Melania is belly down on a piece of fur. Her body is adorned with sparkly jewelry, which is no contest against her attention-stealing cleavage. At the time of this shoot, Melania and Trump were already dating. The red teddy. What's more patriotic than seeing the potential future First Lady in a red teddy bent over and giving the camera a sultry look? This shot used to be posted on melaniatrump.com, but Donald has done well to try to keep this one under wraps. Now when you try to access Melania's website, it goes straight to Trump.com.
Melania Trump first arrived in the United States from her native Slovenia back in 1996, and now, 2 decades later, she is facing the prospect of becoming First Lady. Yesterday, I sat down with Melania Trump and got her to weigh in on everything from her husband's rhetoric surrounding immigration to his propensity for profanity on the stump to his treatment of women. I began by asking her how the entire experience has been so far.
Well, it's amazing what's going on, and we're having fun. I like to keep it life as normal as possible for my son Baron, and I'm a full-time mom, and I love it. So I decided not to be in the campaign so much, but I support my husband 100%.
We want to understand who Melania is.
I grew up in Slovenia, and I went to school there. I studied design and architecture. And then I moved to Milan and Paris to live there. And I had a successful modeling career. I came to New York 1996.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak few languages.
A few?
Yeah.
English?
English, Italian, French, German.
Tell me about your mother.
Really special. She's with a lot of elegance and style. She was in fashion industry for a long time.
What did your father do?
He was a salesperson, and then he was a manager of the company. And once the Slovenia separated and was possible to have own business, he opened his own business.
What was it that you saw in Donald when you met him or fell in love with him?
His mind, amazing mind, and very smart, very charming, a great energy. We have a great relationship. We are own people. I'm my own person, he's his own person, and I think that's very important. I don't want to change him, he doesn't want to change me.
I got a list of terms that have been used to describe your husband from the left, the right, and the center. And they're not pretty. From stupid to demagogue, jerk, idiot, racist, sexist, race-baiting, xenophobic, vulgarian in chief, textbook narcissist. It goes on. What do you make of all this when you hear it?
It's normal that will come up. We are prepared for that. We have a thick skin, and we know that people will judge him and people will call names, and they don't give him enough credit. From June that he announced, they don't give him enough credit.
What about people who feel he is, let's just go down the list because the campaign started and many felt he had insulted Mexicans?
No, I don't feel he insulted the Mexicans. He said illegal immigrants. He didn't talk about everybody. He talked about illegal immigrants. And after a few weeks, like after 2 weeks, giving him a hard time and bashing him in the media, they turned around. They said, you know what, he's right. He's right what he's talking about. And he opened conversation that nobody did.
But you're an immigrant.
Yes.
Do you ever think he's gone too far?
I follow the law. I follow a law the way it's supposed to be. I never thought to stay here without papers. I had visa. I travel every few months back to the country, to Slovenia, to stamp the visa. I came back. I applied for the green card. I applied for the citizenship later on after many years of green card. So I went by system. I went by the law. And you should do that. You should not just say, okay, let me just stay here, and whatever happened, happens.
When he talked about a ban on Muslims, which can't happen for so many reasons, I mean, do you ever think he's going too far with some of this?
Well,
do you ever worry about it?
Well, what he said is it will be temporary, and it's not for all the Muslims. It's the one, we need to screen them who is coming to the country. He wants to protect America. He wants to protect people of America so we have a country and keep a country safe. That's very important to him. And what's going on in the world, it's very dangerous. You have people coming in the country, you don't know who they are. You don't know what they will do. And that's why he was talking about that. It's temporary. We need to figure it out how and what we will do that we know who is in this country.
What about some of the language he uses? He curses.
Well, do I agree all the time with him? No, I don't. And I tell him that. I tell him my opinions. I tell him what I think. Sometimes he listens, sometimes he don't.
In what areas do you advise him?
I follow the news from A to Z, and I know what's going on. I'm on the phone with my husband a few times a day. He calls me, I call him, I tell him what's going on. He's on the road, and I give him my opinions.
Let me ask you about women. He's taken a lot of criticism, kerfuffles, of course, during the debate with Megyn Kelly. In the Trump organization, how are women treated compared to men?
They're treated equal. I see him in life. He treats women the same as men. He will tell you what is in his heart, what he thinks. He will not hold it back. If you're a woman, you are human. You're human. You're not. It's a woman or a man. It's no difference. You are human.
Melania went from a small Slovenian town to a world-famous model to marrying a billionaire and now politician Donald Trump. Melania spoke to me from Trump Tower. Okay, where did you meet him?
We met in New York, 1996 in September. We met at the fashion party. It was a big fashion party that my friend organized, Fashion Week, and he invited me. That's how we met with Donald.
Did you like him immediately or not?
I like him. He had a great charm, but he arrived with the date.
Oh.
So, and he was very charming and a great mind and great energy. We had connection from the beginning.
And when was the next time you saw him?
We saw each other, I think, around a week, because I had obligations, work obligations. I traveled to Caribbean for a photo shoot. So when I came back, I called him and we got together.
So you called him?
Yes.
He didn't call you?
Well, first when we met, I didn't give him my number. He was with the date. So I told him, give me your number and I will call you. I wanted to see what kind of number he would give me. Business, home. If he would give me a business number, I'm not a girl doing business with him. Why he would give me a business number? So he gave me all of them. And when I came back, I said, give me your number, I promise I will call you. And I came back after the photo shoot and I called him.
And so then you went out on a date?
We went on the date and we had a great time.
Where'd you go?
We went to Mumbai. It was a place in New York, downtown, and it was a fun place, and we stayed for quite a long time and had a great chemistry.
Did you think, well, maybe there's a possibility with this guy? You know, I might want to marry him later, or was that way too soon?
Way too soon. You need to know somebody, you need to spend time with the person, and you don't know yet. It's in such a quick time. You cannot know, oh, I'm marrying a person or not, especially the known person as he was. It's very different when you're dating celebrity or if you're dating somebody unknown.
Well, so it was several years later before you got married?
Yes.
How many years?
We were together, before we got married, it was 7 years we know each other.
Do you have a nickname for him?
No.
No nicknames?
No.
Does he have one for you?
No. We don't have nicknames.
So he asked you to marry you. Where were you when he asked you to marry you?
It was a special night. It was a gala in New York. We were both dressed, and he asked me to marry me.
No hesitation?
No, but I knew a little bit that, you know, he might propose sooner or later. So, and it was, you know, of course, no hesitation. We were together for so long. We know each other. We are very compatible. We like the same things. We are very independent. We gave each other space as well. So he does what he wants to do and he loves to do, and I do what I love to do. that was my decision not to go on the campaign, because I said I want to be a parent to my child. And he completely agreed with that. And I said I will be there when I can be there and support him 100% every day, all the time.
You got married down in Florida?
Yes, in Palm Beach, in the church.
And Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State, former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and the President was there?
Yes, they were there.
What are your thoughts about that?
Well, now it's different time. That was in 2005, was different time. We were private citizens. He was not running for the office. As he said, he was friends and got along with many, many people. So I don't see anything wrong with that.
Have you ever socialized with them besides the wedding with the Clintons?
No, no.
Any thoughts about if Secretary Clinton is his opponent?
Well, now we will see where it's getting into, so we will see. I know my husband is strong, tough, great leader, and he will do what that country needs.
So it's going to get probably pretty rugged, I imagine, between the two of them, if they're both the candidates.
Yes, we will see.
And that's okay with you?
That's okay with me. It's nothing personal, it's all business.
Number 1. She was a model. Melania Trump is gorgeous, therefore it should be no surprise to find out that she was once a model. What is surprising is that she started modeling when she was just 5 years old. Throughout her younger years, she was featured in a variety of print ads and commercials. By the time she turned 16, her face was very familiar to many. By 1996, she was modeling in the United States before she was legally allowed to work in the United States. Number 2. She has a college education. Melania wanted much more out of life than just looking great and being a model. After graduating from high school, she was living in Slovenia and she attended the University of Ljubljana. She had always had a passion for design, so she studied design and architecture. Number 3. The first time she met Donald Trump. There are many things you didn't know about Melania Trump, and this is likely one of them. Melania was at a party for New York Fashion Week in 1998 with friends when Donald Trump approached her. He was there on a date with another woman. When he approached Melania, he asked her for her phone number. She knew he was on a date with another woman, so she didn't give him her number, but she agreed to take his. He gave her all of his contact information, and she gave him a call soon after. They started dating, and according to Melania, it wasn't long before the two fell in love. Number 4. Her wedding was very expensive. Melania and Donald were married at Donald's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. The reception was held in a 17,000-square-foot ballroom. Her dress was a Christian Dior, and the designer used 300 feet of fabric and over 1,500 pearls and crystal rhinestones. The dress cost $100,000. It was so beautiful and so extravagant that she was photographed wearing her wedding dress for the cover of Vanity Fair. The cake was 5 feet tall and it weighed over 200 pounds. There were over 3,000 roses on the cake made of white icing. It took 2 days to make the cake. Billy Joel sang at the wedding. Also, the couple had many celebrities at their wedding. The entire affair cost an estimated $1 million. Number 5. She uses her design degree. Melania earned her degree in design, and she puts it to good use. She is a designer for many of Trump's properties, including the 3-story penthouse where the couple resides with their son. She says that it is her best work, and it is decorated with fine marble and 24-karat gold. The only space in the penthouse that she didn't design on her own is the space that her son Barron occupies. She has also consulted on the designs in a variety of Donald's hotel rooms and in his resorts. Number 6. She is a devoted mother. Most mothers who are rich and famous hire nannies to help care for their children. Melania does not believe in nannies. She did an interview with Parents Magazine where she explained what type of mother she has always wanted to be. She is a totally hands-on mother. She's never hired any outside help to care for her son Barron, and she says she never will. She says that she brings him to school and drives him to his after-school extracurricular activities. When her husband was on the campaign trail, Melania stayed home to care for her son. She says that she grew up with a constant parental presence and she wanted the same for Barron. This is the exact opposite of how Donald's other children were raised. Number 7. Her son has his own floor. Melania doesn't hire nannies, and she chooses to care for Barron on her own. Since they spend so much time home together, Melania wants him to be as comfortable as possible. To be sure that he has enough space to play and run around, she gave Barron his own floor in the family's penthouse in the Trump Tower. She even allowed him to decorate the floor the way he wants. He chose airplanes and helicopters. According to Melania, Barron loves color everywhere in his room except for his bed. She says that he prefers white blankets and linens to anything colorful. Number 8. She is Donald's third wife. Melania had never been married before she met Donald. However, she was not his first wife. His first wife was Ivana Trump, and the couple had 3 children together. When the story of his affair with Marla Maples broke, Ivana divorced him. Soon after, he married Marla, and they had a daughter together. The marriage didn't last, and they too got divorced. Melania is Donald's third wife, and he is the father of Melania's only child. Number 9. It was her choice to stay off the campaign trail. It was no secret that Melania was not present when Donald was on the campaign trail for President of the United States. His children were always there, but Melania was at home. She says that it was her decision. She says that she is political in her private life, but in public it is Donald's thing. Also, she wanted to be home with her son Barron. Number 10. She works with charities. Melania is one for a good cause. Therefore, she works with a variety of charities, including the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the Police Athletic League, and the Red Cross.
People say, how do you live in New York City? Don't you need a yard? You have a yard. Right. You came from another country, and this is where you live. How do you feel?
It's amazing. I love my home. I could be in my home all the time. I don't need to go out every day. I really love it here.
Do you ever pinch yourself like, oh my word, this is where I live? Did you help decorate the apartment? Is this your taste?
It's my taste. Some of the stuff I redecorated, some of the stuff they were original, and it's my taste, and I feel very comfortable in the place.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So these are some pictures of family, friends. Tell me about some of them, please.
This is me at the wedding night. Donald and me, Donald and Barron, my parents.
Where are your parents?
They're my parents. They're right here. They're here.
That's your mom?
That's my mom.
That looks like you.
Yes, a lot of people
so much
say.
like her.
Yeah, a lot of people say.
Did you ever meet his dad?
Yes, of course, and mom as well.
What were they like?
Great people.
And this is
great
his mother?
sense of humor. His mom, she had a great sense of humor. Yeah.
Really big personality. I really appreciate you letting me meet you and welcoming me into your house.
It's exciting time, and let's see another few weeks.
Well, it's almost over. Hang in there.
Of course.
Donald Trump's wife, Melania, is known for her career as a model. She was born in Sivnica, a small town in Slovenia. Until the age of 14, she lived in a communist-style apartment block with her parents and sister. One of her oldest friends, Diana, remembers her fondly.
She was always a bit different in the best possible way. She didn't fantasize about, I don't know, being a teacher or being a doctor. She wanted to be a model. She was stubborn in the best possible way. She didn't go with head through the wall, but she persists in things. When she wanted something bad enough, she worked hard. She can put herself to not to do what she wanted to do, but just what is needed to be done. So she was really struggling for everything she wanted.
Melania left Sivnica in high school and moved to the capital, Ljubljana. She was quickly scouted as a model. It was a local photographer who discovered her and launched her international career.
Mislim, ja sam odmah primijetio da je veliki potencijal za manekenku i za fotomodel. Bila je šlank, bila je vitka, ali proporcije su bili odlični. Ali u tijelo se je jako promijenila i to na bolje, ali ima svejedno dobre proporcije ovdje i ovo. To je za njihove, za američke pojmove super. I ja mislim da je zbog toga privukla svog Amerikanca.
Now 45, Melania is an American citizen. Her roots, however, will shape what kind of first lady she could be.
Kao prva dama, ja mislim da bi Melania je zagotovo najbolja izbira za Ameriku, tako jer njeno ponašanje je onako graciozno, ona zna da stoji na svojim nogama i ima svoje norme i pravila, tako ona uvijek znala da je šta je pravo i šta je naopako, ali mislim da baš njeno ponašanje je isto što je pravi izbor za Ameriku.
A Slovenian writer has even published a biography, the inside story about Melania.
We can say that father and mother was very, very good for her education, to behave nice and give her chances to go to Ljubljana first and then also around the world. She is probably not so much different, but when you're looking from outside, she changed her name, she changed her homeland, she changed her body, and she gets to the place where she wants to be.
Louise Dewas, ABC News, Slovenia.
Thank you. Say something.
Thank you all for your service. I'm honored to be your First Lady. We will fight, we will win, and we will make America great again. Thank you.
From Trump Tower to the White House, the wife of the United States' 45th president has far more to her than may meet the eye. Welcome to Ms. Mojo's Top 5 Facts. In this installment, we'll be looking at interesting facts about the First Lady that go beyond her marriage to Donald Trump.
You came from another country and this is where you live. How do you feel?
It's amazing. I love my home.
This list is not intended to suggest a certain political leaning, but instead to paint an accurate picture of the First Lady of the United States and activities surrounding her that may or may not have escaped the news cycle.
A former fashion model now about to step into the White House.
Number 5. She's not an outspoken political person.
Melania said, politics and policy is her husband's job. She stays in her lane.
Despite a husband with the most political job in the United States, Melania Trump has largely stayed out of the political limelight.
I could be in my home all the time. I don't need to go out every day.
During his highly covered presidential campaign, Melania only had 2 notable appearances. She gave a speech at the Republican National Convention, which garnered a high level of criticism for its striking similarities to Michelle Obama's 2008 DNC speech, followed by a speech focused on the issue of cyberbullying several months later.
We must find better ways to honor and support the basic goodness of our children, especially in social media.
She's since said that her main priority is raising her and Donald's son, Barron Trump. Despite these efforts, it's impossible to avoid the political spotlight these days when you're in Donald's inner circle. So more speeches and headlines are sure to be expected.
I'm a full-time mom and I love it. So I decided not to be in the campaign so much, but I support my husband 100%.
Number 4, she has had success beyond the Trump legacy.
A lot of people want to know, what made you want to do this? It's my passion for beauty and fashion to design something for women across the country that they could have fun with.
It's more or less impossible at this point to shake the legacy of Donald Trump's wife.
But Melania has nonetheless had several remarkable accomplishments outside of his political and commercial empire. For one, she's multilingual, with fluency in Slovenian, English, French, Serbian, and German.
I speak few languages.
A few?
Yeah.
English?
English, Italian, French, German.
And she's also involved with Breast Cancer Research Foundation, the Police Athletic League, and the American Red Cross. Most notably, perhaps, is her 2010 jewelry line with QVC, which focused more so on affordability than exclusivity, and sold like rapid fire upon its initial release.
I want all of women have a piece of my jewelry because it will make them feel special, it will make them feel elegant.
This was allegedly done without her husband's aid, which suggests there's more than just a pretty face.
She could be like the Jackie O of the 21st century, where with her style and grace, we could really have a creative, beautiful, special First Lady.
Number 3. Her modeling career is well-versed and controversial.
Before becoming Mrs. Trump, Melania had long been a fixture on the modeling scene, beginning her career at just 16 in her native country of Slovenia.
It's impossible to paint an accurate portrait of Melania Trump without highlighting her career as a model, along with the ongoing controversy surrounding it. She started professional modeling at age 16 and has since been featured on Vogue, Glamour, and Vanity Fair, among other prominent magazines.
It's safe to say that no First Lady in history has ever had photos like these on display before the American people.
Undoubtedly, her most talked about spread took place in British GQ in 2000 and attracted controversy during the presidential election.
Before marrying the billionaire, Melania was a top fashion model whose physical beauty made her a big success.
Melania has since become the first lady to have modeled nude prior to their time in the White House. This has brought the debate center stage regarding expectations of the First Lady, while simultaneously highlighting the hypocrisy of some on the left guilty of slut-shaming.
She basically just ended the segment by attempting to slut-shame Mrs. Trump by referring to her as a lingerie model with every implication and buckets of snide syrup coming from her mouth.
Number 2. She's received her fair share of unprovoked backlash.
My fellow Americans.
Expanding upon her controversial nature, despite efforts otherwise, Melania has been under enormous scrutiny since Trump announced his plan to build the wall.
It's going to be a serious wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's not going to be a wall that they just climb up and, you see what they do.
These include decrying her choice of wearing a pussy bow during the second presidential debate, which was coincidentally several days after Donald's infamous locker room talk tape.
Grab him by the pussy. I could do anything.
And criticism of her anti-bullying speech contrasted with her husband's social media presence.
So, my question is, if she wants to fight cyberbullying, shouldn't she delete her husband's Twitter account?
At its worst, acts of violence have been suggested by some, which are an indirect result of frustration with Donald's politics. This has culminated in the lowest First Lady approval rating since 1996, which ironically enough was Hillary Clinton. Number 1. It's unclear what kind of First Lady she will be.
Born in Slovenia, Melania will be the first foreign-born First Lady since Louisa Adams.
Melania's legacy has not been written yet, and the controversy surrounding her is largely an aftershock of the controversy surrounding her husband.
Well, do I agree all the time with him? No, I don't.
With very few political statements, a trophy wife aura, and an impressive background, it's anyone's guess what type of First Lady she will be.
She'll make a very beautiful First Lady, I can tell you. And a great First Lady. She's got a great heart.
Melania has informed the New York Times that she would be very traditional, comparing herself to a modern-day Betty Ford or Jackie Kennedy. With her stated role models being Republican and Democratic First Ladies respectively, what shape her time in the White House will take is uncertain. History hasn't been written yet, and her personal legacy has yet to be decided.
Many Americans hearing from her for the first time during that infamous speech, borrowing lines from the current First Lady.
So, did you learn anything new about First Lady Melania Trump? What's your opinion of the controversy surrounding her?
We met in 1998. It was a fashion week, and it was a fashion party that we were both invited, so that's where we met.
For more bipartisan top 10s and insightful top 5s, be sure to subscribe to Ms. Mojo.
This will make your day. At Trump's inauguration, Mrs. Trump, the new First Lady, enters the audience and looking very polished, and somebody gets caught staring at her, ogling her. Hat tip gateway pundit. Bill Clinton gets caught ogling Melania Trump, and Hillary catches Bill staring at Melania. Watch, here's Hillary in the bottom. Bill is staring off camera across where Melania is, checking her out. Everybody's looking forward except Bill. Hillary looks at Bill, stares at Bill, waiting for Bill to realize she's caught him, and then she just looks away like, okay, I'm busted. All right, take another look. Here she is. Same thing. Yeah, you stink like cabbage, Hillary, and you're a kook, and nobody wants to look at you because you're disgusting. Subscribe to Barry Soetoro channel and share this segment. Hillary got clobbered by Trump in the election, but now Hillary's getting clobbered all over again by Mrs. Trump. Both Trumps are destroying Hillary. Why? Because Hillary Clinton is history's biggest loser. I'll put the link below. If you hate Hillary, you will love this.